I'm Julie Taylor. I'm the founder and director of a new online contemporary art platform called Guns and Rain.
Where did the name Guns and Rain come from?
Good question. It gets muddled with Guns N' Roses quite often. Guns and Rain is the name of a book by an anthropologist called David Lan. He did his work in northern Zimbabwe just after the end of Zimbabwe's independence war, and he looked at the relationship between spirit mediums and guerrilla soldiers. And I think in that work he really captures all these important themes around land, belonging, history, identity, struggle. And these are themes which are kind of the cornerstones, I think, of Southern Africa in many ways, and they come into the work of the artist that I'm working with. So that's where it came from.
And how does a contemporary online art gallery work?
Well, I think you can talk about both offline and online. So I'm not sure which one you want to cover first, but I think a gallerist's role is to engage with emerging artists often and support them in their careers and represent them to the public. As you can imagine, an artist has to focus on their creative projects much of the time. They don't necessarily have the time to go out and market themselves and represent themselves to the public. So that is the role of a gallerist. And in terms of online, I think the internet offers all sorts of new opportunities for the visual arts, which haven't yet been exploited, especially in the Southern African context.
So you've got both a website and you're on Google Gallery. Explain Google Gallery.
Sure. So I think Google Open Gallery is part of the Google Cultural Institute. It is, to some degree, a sort of a self-service platform for galleries. Guns and Rain is one of the first African galleries on Google Open Gallery. And it's really a sort of a parallel platform which is also interlinked with my own. What it allows is curation of online exhibitions, which is really useful because then visitors get to see works not only in isolation but in thematic relationship to other works. And it also allows visitors to zoom in really close to any one of these artworks, which is exciting because you can get to see sort of individual brushstrokes on a painting and not just the kind of the bigger picture, as it were.
And so how does it work? If I choose a print or a picture, how do I order and how do I get it?
It's very simple. The platform works like a regular e-commerce site. You just select and buy your artwork online. You pay via an online interface which is connected with PayPal, safe and secure. You plug in your delivery details and then the artwork will be shipped to you, and you should get it within 5 to 7 days.
So describe a couple of the artists on the platform to give some idea of the type of people or whose work you're selling.
Sure. So Admire Kamuzengerere, for example, is a young Zimbabwean artist. This year he finished a 2-year residency at the Rijksacademie in Amsterdam, a prestigious place to do such a residency. And he's now back in Harare, sort of developing his career and the next steps. He's actually got a show coming up this month. So he is young, hasn't had a huge amount of international exposure yet, but I think he has great promise, and quite a lot of his work is on Guns and Rain. There are other young artists, quite a few South African artists, who are at a similar stage to Admire. They have won a couple of important local awards. They have secured a number of local residencies. And artists include Bambo Sabia, Temba Kumalo, and several others that you can see on the site.
So how has sales been so far?
There's still lots of work to be done on the sales front. It's still slow, it's early days, but I've been pleased with the response.
Yeah.
And the traffic to the site is good. I've had buyers from 4 or 5 countries outside of Africa, including the US, the UK, Germany, Australia, and I'm really pleased with that. I think I'm off to a positive start.
And how do you think online will change the process of buying art?
I think it's a very different way of experiencing art, but what it does do is make art so much more accessible to people. You've got to remember that quite a lot of people are actually a bit intimidated by going into a gallery or going into a museum, just because it might be something which is so different from anything that they've grown up with. And I think the internet, like for many other things, makes that information about art and the art itself so much more accessible. This means that people might be less afraid to make a first-time investment, and it actually might set up a different trend through the course of their sort of investment life, as it were. Interesting stats from a piece of research that came out last year showed that of first-time buyers globally, 25% of them were under the age of 30, and I think that's an extraordinary statistic.
It's a new generation of buyers.
I think it is. People are engaging with art online. They are not afraid to perhaps purchase something online, and some platforms offer returns policy, so there is a lower risk attached. You can explore, try something out, return it if you don't like it. So I think, the internet is democratizing access to art, and I think that's great.